What's good, everybody? Welcome back to LDS Boxing. We're back again with another pre-gaming show, Fight Week, September the 18th through the 20th. So we're going to tap into it. I want to salute everybody coming through the building, though. I appreciate you guys' time. Hit on our like button, subscribe if you haven't. All right, we're going to start right here. September 18th, down in Australia. So we have an IBF World Title Eliminator at the welterweight division. Liam Paro, former world champion, against David Popat out of France. Undefeated David Popat. I mean, this is a good fight. A battle of two southpaws. Popat is strong, tough, got solid power. I mean, he's going to bring a good challenge to Liam Paro, who is a good boxer. He's campaigning it for his 7 now after being champion at 140. He lost to Hitchens in December. He had a comeback fight, a welterweight fight in June, where he beat one of Robert Garcia fighters, Jonathan Navarro. So he's in the eliminator. The winner get a world title shot against Lewis Crocker, who just won the IBF title last weekend. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Pretty good fight. You can catch this card. It's in Australia on Fox Australia pay-per-view. Hopefully somebody have a link for US TV. It'd be early in the morning, but this is an important fight for the welterweight division because it's kind of open. You know what I'm saying? Other than like Brian Norman and Devin Haney fighting in November, it's pretty much wide open after that. So we'll see. Also on the card, you got some notable guys. You got Liam Wilson, 130-pound contender. Paulo Ocaso, he's a light heavyweight, good fighter, Olympian. Brock Jarvis is back on the card. He just fought last month, August the 20th, so he's right back, staying active. And you got Jacob Ng is on the card. He fights at 140. So, yes, sir. All right, moving on. September 19th, we have a Box Lab Promotions down in Orlando, Florida. So we have some notable guys on this card as well. You can catch this card. You can stream it live on BXNG TV. So if you guys want to tap in, feel free. But Kevin Brown is going to headline. He's going to face Juan Angulo, 140 pounds. Kevin Brown got a world title ranking and won with the WBA at 140. We got the return of Louis King Kong Ortiz, heavyweight contender, fought for the title a couple of times. I think Ortiz is 46, 47, but he's making a return to the ring. He's facing Philip Pinson. So this is a fight. If Luis Ortiz got anything left, he should win this. So we're gonna see. It's interesting to see how he looked. You got Roberto Rivera's on the card. Raina Tellis, she can fight. You know what I'm saying? She's a good fighter. Gallegos, and you got Ingram is on the card. So it's like a lot of young up-and-coming guys on the card, but Kevin Brown, he can get an opportunity at 140 with that world title ranking. And then Luis Ortiz, we got to see what he got left. So that's what it is. That's September 19th from Orlando. So, yeah, y'all tap in. Here's a Boxer Insider card. So you can catch this card on their YouTube channel, Boxer Insider. It's going to be in New York. You got Kurt Scobie versus Alex Martin. This is like a step. This is a good little step for Kurt Scobie. I don't know if I guess he's still a prospect. He haven't crossed over to a contender yet. But Alex Martin from Chicago, southpaw, tricky. You know what I'm saying? Now, he been stopped by Duarte. He lost his last fight. But he can, it would be a good statement if Scobie can get him up out of there like 1 or 2 rounds. So, yeah, that's what's up. Kurt Scobie fights on overtime, but he's staying active while he waiting for something bigger on overtime. George Arias versus Earl Newman. These are heavyweights, 8-rounders. They on the card. Dante Lane, that's another overtime stablemate. He's on this card. So, yeah, man, y'all tap in. We got some boxing on Friday night, September 19th, Boxing Insider YouTube channel. So, tap in. Stand on Friday. So, this card is on the zone. Salida Promotions. You got Brandon Moore versus DeAndre Savage, Olivia Curry versus Kay Scott. So, these are 2 main fights right here. The main event, Brandon Moore, heavyweight. He like 6'6", he kind of athletic. He athletically awkward, if that makes any sense. He got a good jab. He won his last two fights. Since losing to last three fights since getting stopped by Richard Torres and getting released by Top Rank. He won two fights under Salida. He's facing Savage, who I think more is a big favorite. Um, the Andre Savage is like 6'3", probably about 290. Been fighting low level competition. He's 10-0 with 10 knockouts, but I mean, I probably can get that. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. And I don't trust him in this fight. I like Brandon Moore. This is like a homecoming fight for Savage. He is from Flint, but I don't know. I like Brandon Moore to win. They have a regional title on the line. Curry versus Scott. Now this is for the vacant WBA and WBC middleweight titles. So these titles was left vacant by Carissa Shields when she decided to campaign at heavyweight. So she vacated her titles a couple of months ago. Now Curry and Scott gonna fight for it. So Curry is from Chicago. She's strong. She's probably the bigger opponent. She gave Shadasia Green a tough fight, and she came up short. She's gonna be. I favor her because I think she's more physically strong. Kay Scott is from Australia. She had an opportunity at a world title for the vacant WBO, I believe. She came up short against Destiny Robinson, but and she's older, so I picked Curry because of physical talent. I just think she's stronger, and I think she'll probably win this fight. So that's what's up. The winner of this is will have a mandatory Tam Taboo, who fights with MVP. Tam is fighting next week, actually, in Canada, September 27th. So this is like a prelude, something to look forward to for this one. So yeah, y'all tap in. And then on the undercard, you got some young fighters. Cedarius Simmons, heavyweight. He was a good amateur. He's on the card. DeVale Smith, super middleweight, good puncher. You got a couple of female fighters on the card. Savannah Tinney. You have Jasmine Hampton making her pro debut. You got Jelena Marinovich. She's a veteran, former world champion. Carmel Michaela is on the card. So it's a lot of young talent in that Detroit area on Salida Promotions for you guys to tap into on Friday night on the zone. So feel free. All right, here's another one. A local show up in New York. This is Star Boxing. You can catch this on starboxing.com. Junior Yonan is on the card. He's a super middleweight. I mean, he's been around for a while. Haven't had a big opportunity yet, but he fights at super middleweight. And he had a world title ranking with the WBA. So I'm not sure if he can get a big fight, but he will be back on September 20th. So you guys want to tap in. Here's another one. Now, this is an interesting heavyweight fight. Kingsley Abe versus Gerald Washington. Now, these guys definitely, I think it's pretty much 50-50. Gerald Washington's like 43, 44 years old, something like that. Been around for a while. We all know the fights that he had and lost and the fights that he won. He's facing Abe, who was a tough, strong, like this is a battle of two football players. You know what I'm saying? Linebacker and defensive end. But Abe, we remember him from the bubble when he was running through shit until he got to Jerry Anderson. So he's gonna face Gerald Washington and El Salvador. These guys are fighting for a WBC regional title. So yeah, I'm trying to find something for this one as well because it's interesting. I don't think they had boxing in El Salvador before. So and it's an interesting fight. You got the Bonilla twins on the card. Harry and Andre, they on the card. Austin Brooks, who is a good junior lightweight, kind of fringe contender, he's on the card. So that's what it is. All right, we got another female world title fight. So actually, we got 4 women's title fights this weekend. So that's dope right there. Here's a unification: Sarah Bailey versus Evelyn Bermudez. This is for the WBA, WBO, IBF junior flyweight. So that's 108 pounds. This is a good fight right here. Sarah Bailey is a technician. She has the WBA title. She's bringing that to the table. She's a good boxer. Not a lot of power. Technician, can walk into some shots. A good counter puncher. She fights out of Canada. This fight is going to be on Canada. Going to be in Canada, excuse me. Bermudez, she's been around for a while. Two-time unified champion. She awkward. She throw punches from different angles. She switch stance, mid punch. She square up a lot, but she have a hell of a work rate. And if she can get Sarah Bailey to fight her fight when it's like a brawl, she has an opportunity. So we're gonna see. It's interesting because MVP they signed Jessica, the former world champion. Jessica, I forget her last name right now. It slipped my mind. But they just signed her and they got Yo Casavalli. Yo Casavalli already beat Bermudez. So they actually stockpiling in that division, and maybe the winner can get an opportunity on the MVP show. So that's what it is. We have overtime boxing. Overtime boxing is back. This is September the 20th down in Houston. So Breon Gorman is the headliner. He's going to face Yomar Alamo. That's a late replacement. You have Tara Brown. You have Giovanni Marquez on the card. Here's the full card right here. Just to touch on. So you got a couple of, interesting fights. Diaz and Mendez, they're fighting for the pink slip. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that overtime does, a pink slip fight. Whoever loses, they get the pink slip. Marquez versus Feria, that's an interesting fight. Feria is a solid boxer. You know what I'm saying? This is probably like a step up for Giovanni Marquez, who's been having some up and down fights. Sometimes he look real good, and other times he just look so-so. But this is a good fight, good test for him, and he fighting in his hometown. Tierra Brown is making her first title defense against Emma Gongora. Gongora is from France. She's tough. She's been there with a couple of good fighters. Came up short. Tierra Brown is coming off a big win. Probably one of the upsets. I didn't want no upset to me, but one of the upsets this year when she went down to Australia and beat Scott Nicholson in a real good fight, and she dominated that fight. So, getting her first title defense under her belt. It's a fight that she should win. She's the more talented fighter. She just got everything better than Gongora. So we're gonna see. It's for the WBC featherweight title, and Gorham versus Yomar Alamo. This is a tough fight for the up and coming Gorham. Gorham. Tough fight because Alamo is tough. The only one that gave Alamo the business for real was Hitchens. I mean, Alamo just had a real close fight with Jermaine Ortiz. Now he's starting to be like a gatekeeper, but he's tough. And if Gorham ain't on his shit, it can be a tough fight, real tough fight. So yeah, I like it. I like the step. So y'all make sure y'all tap in Saturday, September the 20th. Live on the Zone YouTube channel, all that good shit. You can watch some overtime boxing. All right, last one. We're sticking on the Zone. With this one, we have a Golden Boy show for Indio, California, September the 20th. Oscar Collazo versus Jason Vason. That's for the unified titles at 105. And then Gabby Fondora defending her undisputed crown at 112 pounds against a late replacement, Alexa Kubecki. So we're going to touch on it. First of all, we got some young guys on the card. We got Ruslan Adalev. He's going to face the gatekeeper, Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson is always going to give your young prospect a good fight. He's just going to do enough to lose. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you a couple rounds, and then he'll find his way in the loser column. Adalev, this is his third fight, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So they real high on him. Kevin Johnson can fight. He just find a way to lose. Let's see. He gave Arate a tough fight, his last fight. So we'll see. Speaking of Arate, Joe Arate is on this card. He was on a crazy knockout streak his first 7 to 8 fights before he ran to Kevin Johnson and had to go the distance the first time. He's looking to pick up that knockout streak again against Eduardo Hernandez. Tall, strong kid. I like him. He can fight, but he had a kind of like I feel like they stepping him back. You know what I'm saying? Because the fight with Kevin Johnson was a tough one, so they stepping him down to 6 rounds in this next fight. But he's on the card. Grant Flores, he's the local guy. Big, strong, 154 pounder. He's facing Courtney Pennington, the veteran. So this seems like a fight where they're trying to get Flores some rounds. He's been getting a lot of stoppages early to the body, and he's a big, strong guy. So let's see. Pennington been around for a while. He's a journeyman type of guy. He's expected to go rounds, but let's see. Then you got Gail Cabrera, who is a good fighter. He's facing a tough Filipino, Julie Flores. So should be a lot of action on the undercard, live on the zone, Golden Boy Boxing. All right. Gabby Fundora is back. One of the best pound for pound fighters in boxing, women's boxing for sure. Tall, southpaw, 5'9", can punch, can box. I mean, I don't think she hit her prime yet. I think she's 23, 22, 23. She's not in her prime yet, but she's dangerous. And she, just like her brother, Sebastian, tall and rangy, and they both throw punches from crazy angles. And the opponent have a hard time calculating where them punches coming from. And they get hurt by them shits. She got a late replacement, Alexis Kubek, Kubecki. Alexis Kubecki, who is from Canada. I mean, same story. She like 5'3". She's too small. Like, I think Gabby gonna have issues with somebody taller. Kind of like the Christina Cruz fight. Christina Cruz was like 5'7", 5'6". She gave her a tougher fight than a lot of these short girls because they have a hard time getting in. And when they get in, they gotta pay a toll. And that toll is those big ass uppercuts. And Gabby is putting them out. So let's see. I think she moves on. It's gonna get to a point where we're gonna have to start calling for bigger names for Gabby. You know what I'm saying? Because they're looking too easy. So you have to test yourself for maybe. I mean, I think 108 pounds is actually a good test for her because there's a lot of good names down there. But 115, it'd be good too. You know what I'm saying? If she can get to 18 too, that's another one. But I expect Gabby to win. This is like a homecoming fight for her too. She don't live too far from the venue in India and Coachella. All right, main event. So Oscar Collazo, unified champion, 105 pounds, the best fighter at 105. The biggest name and stuff like that. And that's a division that I've been talking about for a while because I think it can get a lot of notoriety if you get undisputed. But we got a little ways to go for that. But Collazo is facing Jason Vason from the Philippines. It's a fight that Collazo should win. Vason is tough though. He's tough. Ain't really jump out at me while I watch a fight. Nothing jumped out at me like that. He gonna have a tough night with Collazo, who's a good boxer, good feet, counter puncher, and he got big power for 105 pounds. And he a good body puncher too, just to add. So it's gonna be a tough night at the office for Vason. But let's see. You know what I'm saying? We had an upset last week with Christian Medina winning the world title. I mean, upsets happens. So I don't think so, but let's see. That's why they fight the fights. So yeah, good weekend of boxing though. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody tapped in. Let's do a quick recap, then we'll close it out. Salute to everybody tapping in with the video. I appreciate it. So we're gonna start with September 18th. IBF Eliminator, Leon Paro versus David Popat. Interesting fight. Two southpaws. The winner will get a world title shot. Looking against Lewis Crocker, who is the newly minted IBF champion. From Orlando, Friday, September 19th. You got Kevin Brown on the card. He's a super lightweight contender. Luis Ortiz, old man Ortiz is back. We ain't seen Ortiz in a long time, but he's making his return. Ingram, Gallegos, Gomez, young guys is on the card. And then on the 19th, Friday, we have Boxer Insider. We got Kurt Scobie, who is an entertaining, strong fighter. He's facing Alex Martin. So y'all tap in for that. Dante Lane, George Arias versus Newman. So yeah, man. Saloon versus Martinez. So you can catch it on the YouTube channel. Salida Promotions have a card September 19th. Brandon Moore versus DeAndre Savage, heavyweights. We have a vacant unified title fight in the co-main. Olivia Curry versus Kay Scott. WBC, WBA vacant middleweight titles. So y'all make sure y'all tap in. Jordan Yordan is back September the 20th in NYC, well, Huntington. So he's back. He's a super middleweight that's trying to get a big fight. Here's a good, interesting, fun. I think this is gonna be a fun fight. Kingsley Abe versus Gerald Washington. Because Abe, he's one of those guys where he's strong, he's rugged, awkward, but he makes for good fights. Gerald Washington is faded, been long faded, but he can win a fight every now and again. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be interesting. All right, we have a unified title fight at 108 pounds. Sarah Bailey, the WBA champion, versus Evelyn Bermudez, IBF and WBO champion. So 3 belt. Hopefully, man, I think this card may be on YouTube, United Boxing Promotions. Hopefully, I haven't seen the notification, but this is gonna be a good fight. And the winner is in a position for a real big fight. So, yes, sir. Overtime is back Saturday on Live on the Zone. So we got uh Breon Gorham versus Omar Alamo. Yomar Alamo. That's a tough fight for Gorham. I like it though. Good step. Tierra Brown's making a world title defense. Her first defense against Emma Gongor. That's a fight she should win. And then we have Giovanni Marquez versus Wesley Ferrer. So yeah, those that's a solid card. Up and coming guys, right there. And then the last one, Golden Boy. So we have Oscar Collazo versus Jason Vason. He's defending his unified titles. Gabby Fondor is defending her undisputed titles against Alexis Kubecki. That's a late replacement. So should be some fun fights, some good up and coming fighters on the card for everybody to tap into. So that's what it is. Another fight week. I want to salute everybody tapping in with the video. Thank you guys for your time, and I'm out.